It's actually pretty good. Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Justice League's tanking box office take. DC's Justice League hit theaters last week, but only pulled in $281.5 million worldwide so far. The movie cost $300 million to make and reportedly even more to market, so it's got a ways to go before it'll be a financial success. Five-pronged tridents and Henry Cavill's fake CGI upper lip aside, the movie itself is actually a pretty good time. Unlike Marvel's latest movie, Dumb and Dumber: Muscles in Space, JL doesn't spend half the runtime with them fighting each other or forcing jokes. Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon absolutely nailed it. And yes, we know we absolutely trashed Batman vs. Superman last year, but that was genuinely bad. JL is anything but. More powerful than a locomotive.
Sword-wielding Joker gets nabbed by cops. Winchester, Virginia police officers had an exciting Friday last week when they got word of an overly enthusiastic Joker cosplayer wielding a sword and hauling it about in public. Said Joker cosplayer is one Jeremy Putnam. Age 31, this guy seriously likes the clown Prince of Crime. And while this is a very accurate Joker makeup job, Virginia ain't Gotham, yo. Old Dominion law stipulates it's a felony for an adult to wear a mask in public. A Class 6 felony that carries a maximum of 5 years in prison, no less. So it was his deaf makeup face job that got him charged, and not the fact that he was allegedly hauling a sword around in public. His buddies tell a different story. In a Change.org petition to get Putnam free, they claim he was carrying a cane and not a sword. Putnam's currently being held in an adult detention center on a $2,000 bond. Either way, let's hope the cops don't roll up on a comic book convention anytime soon. Can you imagine what the cells would look like? Red it balloons are popping up on Pennsylvania sewers. Pennsylvania police decided to clown around with the people of Lidditz after they warned of red it balloons on sewer grates around town ahead of the release of the new movie. The Lidditz Police Department posted photos on Facebook of red balloons tied to 2 sewer grates, along with a clownish caption on Tuesday. If you're not sure why red balloons are scary, Google it. Oh, sorry, we actually mean Google it. So, in Stephen King's novel It, Pennywise, the scary-ass clown, happens to be a big fan of red balloons. In their post, the cops gave the prankster or pranksters an A for effort, but said they removed the balloons because it ain't funny. But we think it's pretty funny. Plus, police propose people pursue post-haste Pennywise previews. They also advised the public to watch it with someone with the lights on and sound low. The movie is set to juggle its way around the world starting this week, and it looks really effing scary.
EA Battlefront 2 replies sparks Reddit savagery. American video game giant Electronic Arts is taking more hits than the rebel base on Hoth after it responded to a fan's complaint on Reddit. User MBM Maverick complained that he paid $80 for the hotly anticipated online shooter Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Darth Vader was unplayable. EA said their intent was to provide games with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. That official response sparked what might be one of the most downvoted Reddit comments in history, with 67,000 downvotes and rising. Vader is reportedly locked behind the game's progression system and not available from the get-go. According to Forbes, he and his, spoiler alert, son Luke cost 60,000 in-game credits apiece. Credits are part of Battlefront 2's in-game economy and are earned via playtime. Forbes reports that 11 minutes of playtime equates to around 275 credits. Some Reddit users estimated it could take up to 40 hours of playtime to get Vader and another 40 hours to get Luke. Those combined 80 hours equate to nearly half a week. Loot boxes can also reportedly be bought with crystals, and those crystals cost real-world dollars. And that's after you put down 60 or 80 bucks for the game. But hey, it's only EA. What more could possibly go wrong?
Holy franchise rescue plan, Batman! Acting megastar Leonardo DiCaprio is reportedly being eyed for the role of the Joker in an origin film about the Batman supervillain. Attached to the project is legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese. Sadly, he's said to be the producer, and sadlier, hit-or-miss Hangover director Todd Phillips is directing. The movie's said to be standalone and set apart from the current crop of DC movies involving the wannabe gangster pimp joker Jared Leto. But if current rumors involving a reset of these movies via the upcoming 2020 Flashpoint flick are true, this has some major potential. For those unversed in comic lore, aka those with better things to do, the very simplified version of the stupidly complex Flashpoint story involves the Flash traveling back in time and setting off a chain of events that resets everything in DC Comics. If the movie version does this, it'll allow a sort of on-screen reboot across DC's movie universe that could let filmmakers pick and choose what and who to keep. Like, for example, Batman vs. Superman or Suicide Squad never actually happening, and bye-bye Jared Leto, hello Leonardo DiCaprio. And who wouldn't pay to see Leo as the clown prince of crime? Oh wait, Todd Phillips is directing, yeah. The first Hangover movie was great, so was Due Date, but Hangover 2 and 3 were almost as bad as Batman and Robin. Gaming study says too much in-game GPS is bad for you. Next time you boot up your favorite first-person shooter, it may be wise to switch off the heads-up display or minimap. Why? According to new research, too much in-game GPS could be bad for your brain. Participants in the video game study played games for between 2 and 4 hours, 3 times a week for up to 12 hours per week, resulting in 90 hours of gameplay time. The research looked at the effects of gameplay on the hippocampus and the caudate nucleus. The first is responsible for emotions, learning, and memory formation. The latter helps us form habits and routines. Routines such as when to eat, exercise, or get home from work, and how to reward yourself for your behavior, are stored in the caudate nucleus. The study found the hippocampus shrank after 90 hours of action and shooter gaming because players use their caudate nucleus more to play and navigate. However, the reverse was true for those playing 3D platform games. After 90 hours, researchers saw an increase in the gray matter in their hippocampi, and they were reportedly playing Super Mario games. The gist of it is this: in shooters and action games, players follow a map and are on a linear path, going from A to B. The study puts that too much of this is harmful for your brain. Super Mario, on the other hand, the researchers say, encourages you to remember landmarks and use spatial awareness and is good for the brain. And a bad hippocampus, they say, can result in depression and possibly even dementia. But University of Oxford professor Andrew Shabrilski points out that the study lacks statistical power, and the framing of harm may mislead readers. He told the Mirror, the interpretation of harm, although attention-grabbing, was not peer-reviewed and appears to have been introduced afterwards. So basically, the study got published, then it was spun in a news release stating video games can harm brains. Newspapers saw that and thought, video games cause brain damage, yo! But the reality is that studies on gaming are inconclusive and mixed at best. For every study that says gaming is good for you, you'll find one that says it's bad. And speaking of studies, this team's work has been, as Villanova University psychology professor Patrick Markey tweets, debunked in the past for similar reasons. What's your take? Fire off below and let us know.